I bought it.
She didn't say, look
I
at my
bought
watch.
it. And Craig said, I was
We gotta get
watching
out of
them
the
with
water
the
so the
news
fish
thing
can
and
Evening. Welcome to the Charter Township of Van Buren Planning Commission meeting for Wednesday, July 9th, 2025. This time I'm calling the meeting to order. Can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And with that, roll call, please.
Sherry Budd,
Here.
Bernie Grant,
Here.
Peter Creel is excused, Medina Atchison, Jackson Paul, Jeff Jar is excused, Brian Cullen.
Here. So we have a quorum. We can move forward. We have an agenda before us. Do I have an action on the agenda?
Through the chair, I make a motion, we approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
We have a motion and support of approving the agenda as presented. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? We also have before us the meeting, the minutes of the regular meeting of June 11th, 2025. Do we have any action on that issue?
Through the chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes. Is that where we're at? Okay. Support.
We have a motion and support to approve the regular meeting minutes of June 11th, 2025. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Any correspondence?
No.
General public comment at this time. If there's anyone in the public that would like to come forward and make comments about items that are not on the agenda, please feel free. Seeing none, we'll move ahead. We don't have a public hearing or any old business. New business, item number 1. Case 23-044, DTE Western Wayne Service Center, temporary land use approval. A request by applicant Tetra Tech on behalf of owner DTE Energy to construct a temporary parking lot for the garage expansion project. The site is located at 8001 Haggerty Road. This time we'll entertain a presentation by staff. Ms. Edwards.
I will refer to Lauren from McKenna.
Thank you. So this is an application for a temporary parking lot. So the parking lot would be in use from July 10th to December 19th, 2025, which is just over 5 months. So per section 7.120 of the zoning ordinance, any temporary uses that are operating for more than 7 consecutive days require planning commission approval, which is why this item is before you today. And so there are 16 items that the zoning ordinance evaluates the temporary land use against before granting approval. And so we'll just go through the ones that it's not meeting or we want to clarify something. So the first one is the adequacy of parking and access. So the parking area is approximately 60 feet by 120 feet in size, located on the northeast side of the property. And we would just like to specify that the area shall not be used for the storage of construction supplies and materials. It's only intended to be used as a temporary parking lot. Item 9, which is hours of operation. So the hours of the use of the parking area have not been specified, but they will be subject to the township's time restrictions on construction activities. So you'll find that as a condition of approval in the later recommendation portion of the report. The next item is that potential noise, odor, dust, and glare. The use of the parking lot, it'll be on crushed aggregate, which will reduce the dust compared to dirt or gravel. However, the applicant needs to ensure that any dust from the area is controlled, and any noise as well. So as noted above, the construction activity will be limited to the hours of operation, allowable under the township's rules, to reduce the surrounding properties or the public. So we don't foresee the noise being an issue. Regarding the fire lanes, and fire protection and security, we would just defer to the fire marshal for any additional measures that they might have for the parking area. And then the necessity of a performance bond to ensure prompt removal. So again, we want to be clear that the applicant will be required to submit a performance bond in the amount that the township will deem appropriate. And this is to ensure that the area is restored back to its original condition when the temporary use is expired. So again, just, extra clear that this will have to be returned to the condition that it's currently in after the use is expired. So given that it's meeting all, the other 16, criteria, and that this request is to ensure that the circulation of the site it remains intact while construction is ongoing on the site, we recommend approval of the temporary land use permit for parking and staging area from July 10th, 2025 to December 19th, 2025, subject to the following 4 conditions. The first being compliance with any conditions set forth by the Van Buren Township Fire Marshal. Number 2, controlling any dust generated from the parking area. Number 3, that the hours of use of the temporary parking area will be subject to the township's rules for construction activity. And then 4, submission of a performance bond to ensure the restoration of the area to pre-use conditions. Thank you.
Thank you.
I received message from Mike at Fishbeck. Engineering did not have any comments. And then I talked to Andy, the fire marshal, and he said fire does not have any comments.
Okay, so at this time, presentation by the applicant. Please come forward, introduce yourself, and
All right, hello, I'm Alicia Donilo. I'm the project manager with Tetra Tech. I've been here a few times for this project in particular. So we are expanding the building over at DT Western Wayne Service Center. It's already a very congested site, so having a lot of contractors on site is getting a little bit too busy for DTE, so they requested that the contractor construct a temporary parking lot in the lawn area on the northeast side of the property. Once that was brought up, we realized that was within 500 feet of the wetlands on that property, so we did take proper measure and we received approval for a soil erosion soil control permit from Wayne County with the same plans that were submitted to Van Buren Township. With our design of this parking lot, it's basically they're going to be removing the topsoil in a 60 by 120 foot area and replacing that with 8-inch 21 AA stone for this parking lot. The stone will be sloped towards existing drainage channels around the north and west side to avoid any drainage towards that wetland. So that's some of that mitigation there for the soil erosion, soil control. It will be surrounded by a silt fence as well for protection of the wetland. And that topsoil from the existing area will be protected during the duration of the temporary lot in an area surrounded by silt fence and mulch in order to then be restored into that area once construction is complete. So as they mentioned, the duration is as soon as we receive approval. So if that's today, then they will start tomorrow, and they anticipate it through roughly mid-December, or hopefully sooner they can restore that construction, if it finishes early. Let's see, I think I understand McKenna's, some of their stipulations that they had in their letter. I'll make sure to pass that along to the contractor so they're aware of mitigating and controlling dust during any construction. I do know their construction activities are during normal business hours. They're not doing any, overnight or weekend work really. So we'll make sure that all of those concerns are included and sent over to them. I do have a question, though. You mentioned no storage on the parking lot. So they do have, initially this was, and in the letter, it was for laydown of material and parking. They do currently utilize some of the site at Western Wayne for material laydown. So if there's a reason that they're not allowed to put material on this temporary area, I can make, I think that's no problem. We can avoid it. But I was just curious, maybe why they cannot store anything on there.
You have a,
Intended to serve as a staging and storage area during the renovation and construction at the
Yes.
top.
Let me look at the section that she put
Yeah,
in
it says
here.
stages and storing in the top of this letter.
Chair, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Or do you want to wait for Brittany?
Go ahead.
go ahead.
For the applicant, what exactly are your hours of operation?
I think the construction, it's 7:30 to 4:30, Monday through Friday.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Now, when you asked about putting stuff down, I assume it's construction material that is going to be used up, so it isn't going to be there anyway. And I don't think we'd have a problem with it because that is what even McKenna knew that was going to be used. So I'm not sure why they made that statement further on in their letter.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It is definitely for construction material, just to, have it delivered and then they use it, on the building addition. So,
So just to be clear, the temporary parking area is the staging area as well, not something off of that, right?
it is for both,
Okay.
for parking
Then
and
it already
staging.
identifies it that way, right?
See anything that states they cannot, like within our ordinance, that states it cannot have construction material on it.
I think we
Okay.
can move that statement out of that letter because I don't think it's, I don't think it's applicable, if that's okay with you, Lauren.
Would it possibly be under the outdoor storage of building or contracting equipment and supplies, which has a set of stipulations about storing that sort of material?
I think.
I was just looking under the temporary land use portion, because that's what she quoted here.
Yeah.
Temporary land use, it's not a permanent storage,
Right.
which would have those other stipulations on it.
Okay. So can we strike that from the letter, or doesn't it matter that it's there?
It's not put it as a condition of approval.
I think we should note that we're taking that item out so that if someone looks at here, they don't say, well, they got a box of nails sitting there or something like that, yeah.
Okay, anything else?
Find it in the letter. Can somebody tell me where it is in the letter?
It's right there. Item number 1, adequacy
Item
of
number
parking
1.
and access.
Shall not be used for storage of construction materials.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you. I'm looking everywhere but there.
Yeah.
All right. I have another
and it says down
question,
here what it's for.
and this would be for staff. In regards to the performance bond, how much performance bond are you suggesting? Or is McKenna suggesting, or give me some sort of number? Because I'm not sure that a performance bond, in my opinion, is truly required here, but
That's up to you guys to make that decision, if you would like to require a bond or not. When Ron and I were discussing of doing this administratively versus coming to planning commission for this land use, he stated that any amount of a bond is most likely not going to be big enough to cover removal and replacing everything back to normal unless we have a huge bond. So if you feel necessary of collecting a $300,000 to $500,000 bond to remove all of the material that's put down and then regrade it and put it back to its current conditions. He stated that any bonds we've had in the past haven't been enough to cover anything.
But it's something and it's a reminder.
Yes. Bonds that we do a portion of, we can do usually 10% of the cost or the value. If you want to do something more than that, we can. We would have to ask them what their value is to,
Go ahead.
So through the chair, I have a question. So you're constructing on the site, so you ultimately need a C of O for that expansion, right? Can this be tied into the C of O in any way? The reclamation of the property?
yes, we can.
There you go, then you probably don't need it.
We have the construction bonds for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it should be part of the construction. It is the staging area.
Yep.
Okay, I would go for that.
I'm so sorry. What did you ask? And then what is the value of the development?
Of the garage expansion project or the, so the garage expansion project is, I believe it was 2.5 million for construction cost. The parking lot, though, I don't have an exact number on that. The contractor was putting that together.
I would think the bond would only be on what it, the portion of what it was to construct that, not of the garage.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is essentially, if they would have known they needed it from the beginning, they would have been on their original documentation for construction. My point is, this is like an add service to the construction
It
contract,
is,
right?
Yes, yeah.
So therefore, why not make it part of the C of O for the entire project? That way, they have to complete it in order to get their C of O.
I agree with that. That makes sense. That's
alleviate-
reasonable.
Yeah.
That makes
That
sense.
would alleviate the need for the bond then.
Right.
Okay.
You must be an architect.
Any other comments, questions? Anyone from the public? Seeing none? What is your desire on this, commissioners?
The chair, I would like to make a motion that we grant temporary land use approval to Tetra Tech on behalf of the owner, DTE Energy, to construct a temporary parking lot for the garage expansion project. I would like to notate for this file, based on the findings from the McKenna letter dated July 3rd, 2025. I'd also like to add hours of operation will be Monday through Friday, no Saturday or Sunday, 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. The duration of this project, the dates will be July 10th, 2025 through December 19th, 2025. I also want to include item number 1 with the McKenna letter, that it indicated that we will be striking the request for the area shall not be used for the storage of construction supplies or materials. And in addition to that, number 13, that the fire marshal deferred that, this did not pertain to their department. And that we will be including as part of the COV, item number 15 will be part of, in lieu of the performance bond.
Question about that. I just have a quick question about what was stated with the hours of operation, just to make sure. Is that just construction activity hours of operation? If they have material overnight on that lot,
Oh,
is that okay?
of course.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
just wanted to confirm. Thank you.
Could I add, to be clear, that the construction, the reclaiming of that land back to its original use be tied to the C of O?
the amendment to that?
Yes, I thought I said that. Did I not say that?
I thought you did.
Okay.
You alluded that way, yes.
Close.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a support on the motion?
Support.
We have a motion support to approve the special land use. Could we have, is there any discussion on the motion? Then could we have a roll call vote, please?
Jackson Paul. Medina Atchison.
Yes.
Bernie Grant.
Yes.
Sherry Budd.
Yes.
Brian Cullen.
Yes. So we carry the motion. Yes, you've got your temporary land use. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, that leads us to general discussion and updates. Do we have any new information or anything to bring along to us, Ms. Edwards? Anybody with any questions or comments?
A comment,
Sure.
bed, breakfast, and lunch is that thing out there for people to apply for jobs, so it looks like they're gonna be opening soon.
Good,
Yep.
good,
That's been in the paper and been around. Yep.
good. We also have a joint meeting coming up,
On the 30th
the
at
30th.
the high school cafeteria. That is
Yes.
confirmed.
5 p.m., right?
Yes,
What time? I'm sorry.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock at the high school.
at the high school cafeteria. At the main door and the cafeteria door will both be unlocked. So we'll see.
It's a shorter walk to the cafeteria.
Sorry, that was July 30th.
Yes. Is there anything else?
No, there's not.
Chick-fil-A
think
is
so.
still coming?
Yes, they were supposed to be on tonight's meeting. I talked to her a couple days before I was supposed to send out packets, and she goes, "Oh, I forgot. We have people out of town." So they moved to the August 13th meeting. The next meeting, we will have the Stellantis tree removal permit and McDonald's final site plan.
Okay, anything else? Anybody else? Then I would entertain motion to do that thing we like to do at this point.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
We have a motion and support to adjourn. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.
And that's a short.